Hi, our group will present about cellular respiration. We are from SMK Seri Bintang Selatan. Our group member is Amy Wong Ying Chuan, Tan Yi Jun, Yap Kian Fong, and Brian Chun Keng Yuan. Our group supervisor is Cikgu Noh Haiza Mat. Why our group decided to choose this topic? It is because cellular respiration is an essential process that produces energy for the body. It is important for understanding how living organisms survive and function every day. What is the meaning of cellular respiration? Cellular respiration is the oxidation process of organic molecules to release energy. The main substance is glucose. There are two types of cellular respiration. First is aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration occurs in presence of oxygen. Second is anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration occurs in absence of oxygen. Fermentation is an alternative pathway of obtaining energy. In fermentation, the breakdown of glucose is incomplete in condition of limited oxygen or without oxygen.
Aerobic respiration is a process in which glucose is completely broken down to produce energy in the presence of oxygen. Oxygen is used to oxidize glucose to produce carbon dioxide, water, and energy. The complete process of glucose oxidation is simplified as follows. Glucose combined with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide, water, and energy. There are two stages of aerobic respiration. First one is glycolysis. Glycolysis occurs in cytoplasm. It is a breakdown of glucose by enzymes. One glucose molecule is broken down into two pyruvate molecules. Second stage is oxidation of pyruvate. Oxidation of pyruvate occurs in mitochondria. Pyruvates are oxidized to produce carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Energy is used to produce adenosine triphosphate ATP molecules. The aerobic respiration is simplified as follows. ATP molecules are produced when a group of non-organic phosphate is added to adenosine diphosphate ADP. ATP molecules have weak phosphate links. When the phosphate links on ATP molecules are broken, the energy released is supplied to cells to help us carry out our daily activities. ADP and phosphate are produced.
Fermentation is the incomplete breakdown of glucose in conditions of limited oxygen or without oxygen. Fermentation is different from aerobic respiration in its metabolic pathway after glycolysis. After glycolysis, the pyruvate produced will undergo either alcohol fermentation or lactic acid fermentation. Alcohol fermentation is the incomplete breakdown of glucose to ethanol, carbon dioxide, and energy. Alcohol fermentation happens in yeast and in paddy plants that are grown in waterlogged areas. For yeast, ethanol is used in the making of beer and wine. The released carbon dioxide makes the bread dough rise. For plants, paddy plants that grow in waterlogged areas with less oxygen are able to carry out alcohol fermentation, as it has a higher tolerance to ethanol compared to most plants. Paddy plants produce alcohol dehydrogenase enzymes to break down ethanol molecules to non-toxic carbon dioxide.
Next is lactic acid fermentation. Glucose is partially broken down into lactic acid and energy. It happens in bacteria lactobacillus to ferment milk and produce yogurt in human muscle cells during vigorous activity. Bacteria lactobacillus. The bacteria lactobacillus carries out milk fermentation to produce yogurt. Lactobacillus acts on the lactose and turns it into lactic acid. The lactic acid will then coagulate casein to produce yogurt. Lactic acid is the source of a sour taste in yogurt. Next is human muscle cell. During vigorous training, the rate of oxygen use exceeds the oxygen supply by the blood circulatory system. The muscle cells are in an oxygen deficiency state and undergo oxygen debt. Glucose cannot break down completely. Glucose is broken down into lactic acid and energy, which only two ATP molecules or 150 kilojoules of energy will be produced. Accumulation of lactic acid can cause fatigue and muscle cramps. Recovery. Once the vigorous activity stops, the intake of excess oxygen will oxidize the lactic acid into carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Oxygen debt is repaid
when all the lactic acid has been expelled.
That's all from us. Thank you.